Wake up, everybody, because we have breaking news hot off the Twitter notifications. Nintendo has just announced a brand new Nintendo Switch model, and yeah, it's here, everybody. The Switch Pro is real. The bona fide 4K ray tracing, HDMI 2.1, Dolby Digital, indestructible, built-in screen projector, VR ready, 8K, Internet 2, Switch Pro is here! Kinda. Nintendo, like it usually does, has released the trailer for a brand new Switch model a month after its E3 presentation, and they're calling it the Nintendo Switch Oled version. A little anticlimactic, but that's fine. Let's jump into this trailer. Starting off here, it's a classic Nintendo Switch trailer. We got a bunch of young adults raving about video games here. That's how you know it's for the hardcore audience, when they actually have adults on screen. Oh yeah, 7-inch OLED screen. Just like the reports. A completely redesigned Switch stand? Just like the reports. Enhanced speakers? That's new. An Ethernet port? Nintendo figured out internet. And that's about it. Wait, but I thought it was supposed to have the what happened to that one, and it was supposed to be able to, and but this isn't the Switch Pro. So yes, this is and isn't a Switch Pro model. It's a new version with a bigger, better screen and some extra improvements beyond that, but it's not a truly enhanced model. But it is $50 more, so what gives? All of this reporting done by Bloomberg indicated that this would have been an enhanced chipset and be capable of 4K output via DLSS. And the report also mentioned having a better CPU and increased memory. They got everything else correct about this model, like the bigger screen, OLED version, and the slate of new games, just not the actual core enhancements. And now, obviously for Nintendo, they didn't say anything prior to this. This was their first mention of an enhanced Switch, so it's not their problem if things don't exactly line up, but this is kind of underwhelming. $350 for what are fairly run-of-the-mill changes doesn't scream Switch Pro or a must-have item. I'm not even sure these changes warrant a price increase, to be honest. And no, I don't think they're waiting to announce more features later. I think this is it. I do have a theory, though, as to what changed since these articles were published. And if I were to guess, I'd say they couldn't get the enhanced parts to all work correctly and still maintain the price model they wanted. Seems like this was their solution to having some sort of new product out this year. Now, I'm not particularly mad at anyone for their reporting or this announcement itself, and like I said, this is Nintendo's first time talking about this, and the reports from Bloomberg could have been what was originally planned, but you know, global pandemic, massive semiconductor shortage, and demand for all this sort of new tech devices could have meant that all these enhanced parts were just too difficult to fit into the current plan. I'd wager that they couldn't secure the parts at the price range they wanted and opted to have a stopgap in the meantime. The better memory and processor is probably too expensive to make in what would be minimal bulk right now. But the OLED screen is super cheap, as the article stated. I think the internet as a whole kind of ran away with the whole Switch Pro ideas of what it was actually going to be, but I do believe that the Bloomberg articles that were published this year did have the right information about what was supposed to be the Nintendo Switch Pro. It's just that, like what happens a lot with these things, plans change. Ideas have to be scrapped, things have to be delayed, put off on hold, and I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo wanted to have this Switch Pro out, and maybe even alongside Breath of the Wild 2, which got delayed as well. So yeah, this is the new version of the Switch. It's definitely not the Pro model we were all hoping for, but it's at least something that indicates progress? Boy, we are really scraping the bottom of the barrel trying to turn this into a positive. Overall, I'm probably going to pick this up, actually. My Switch is getting pretty old at this point, and I'm very interested in this better screen. However, I definitely wouldn't recommend this for anyone frustrated with the current model, as this isn't going to fix anything. No real power enhancements means Hyrule Warriors is still going to be 12 frames per second, and Mario Golf is still going to look like Minecraft. What is that? That's Donkey Kong in Mario Golf. That's what he looks like. He looks like a plastic amiibo. We really need that Pro model. Carbon-based Banner, would you use this at all? Sure. I actually spent a lot of time playing my Switch on breaks during work, so this is a pretty nice upgrade. And I never had a Switch Lite, so this can honestly be a dedicated handheld device for me, while my current model just sits in the dock 90% of the time, since there's no real upgrades there as well. It's not the best upgrade in the world, but I'll definitely see the benefits in it. So that's all for me. I guess the only question would be, what's the nickname for this guy gonna be? Because I probably will not continue to say Nintendo Switch OLED model every time. Switch OLED? OLED Switch? Switch O? Carbon-based Bander, what do you think? Now hear me out. For the chumps, you call it the Nintendo Switch Pro. For the casuals, call it the Nintendo Switch OLED model. But for the real gamers, call it the Nintendo Swoled.